Hello friends, welcome back to another YouTube video. How are you guys? I hope you all are feeling well, good, and I thank you for tuning in today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my first impressions of the Miya HIMI gouache set. More information about this gouache set will be in the description box below as to where I got this from. This video is not sponsored, but yeah. This video is going to go in depth of my thoughts and reactions to first using the HIMI gouache set. I'm going to be unboxing it, swatching all the colors, and sharing a time lapse of an art piece I did. So this box, I really love its simplicity. It didn't have much on the front and I really liked the pink color. This symbol on the front looked so cute and funny and I just really loved the aesthetic. On the bottom it says 24 colors, so it has 24 paint jelly cups, which are each 30 milliliters. I really liked the cubicle effect that the back had, and I watched so many videos of people reviewing it and I thought, why don't I get it for myself and see what all the hype is about? So I got it for myself. There is a color sheet on the back, like on the sticker, and unfortunately I could not read the language, so I had to use and look at the card inside, which had English captions. So this set that I got, it's the bigger one compared to the smaller rectangular cases. There's like a lot of sizes you could get. Here is a white mixing tray for mixing your colors. It has a really big area and also tiny little sections, which is great for organizing your colors. This is the card I was talking about. It has English captions of each color, but I rearranged them in my own way, so it's easier for me. And a little thank you note on the back. What I also liked is this pack came with a 3 brush set, and I really loved the packaging. It was just, I loved it. I also had a little bit of trouble opening it, so just don't mind that. But the 3 brushes that were inside, they're not included in some of the other sets, so be aware of that. I got this one because it literally gives everything you need to start except for like the paper. So each brush comes with a different size and the number is listed on the brush handle, and when I tell you these handles were so soft, they were so smooth and I loved it, and the size number and the brand name is lettered with gold. So when I do the piece, I don't use all of the brushes because I wanted to see if the colors would stain the brush hairs, and you're going to see that later. I'm going to explain it to you, but I did use one of the brushes, and you might see me use the other ones in a later video. I've been staring at these little jelly cups for so long, and they are so satisfying to like glide your hands over. They're just, oh my god, they're just such an excitement to like see. Like, I'm so excited when I see it because I just want to open it up. But each little box has the brand name and a little character or a little design on it, and I did try out the QR codes, but they didn't really work out for me that well. It just gave the color and that's it, but that's what I expected. So these little jelly cups, they're pretty big, if I can say so, because I don't really use that much paint. I kind of water it down, but the jelly cups are so cute, and you can just see how adorable they look. And I must warn you, these are not edible in no shape or form, but they do look so cute. And especially like the mustard color ones, they literally look like saucepans or like those dipping sauces. And I really like this color. It's my favorite color from this set. There's also a little section alongside the box that gives a place to put your brushes, but I usually would not do that because I'm scared I'm gonna get it like dirty with the colors and just something will happen. But let's get to rearranging these colors and opening them. So I started by dumping out all of my jelly cups on the table and rearranging them in the order that I wish to see them in. There is no wrong way to start by opening your Miya HIMI gouache set. I've seen people directly just open the jelly cups and put them in where their slots were, but I just wanted to rearrange the colors before so I can get the optimum way or the color scheme that was most suited for me. And the two dark colors you see me contemplating with are the black and the really dark blue. I just didn't know which one was which, so I just made a guess, and stick around to see if I actually got that guess right. From all the videos I saw that were reviewing this Miya HIMI gouache set, I personally was looking forward to peeling the tops off, and they were so satisfying and I enjoyed it 100%. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was just focusing on enjoying the peeling and how at peace I was, which is kind of weird, but I really enjoyed it. But I do have to say that some of the paints did not come easily. I could not peel them off, so I had to take a scissor and go off camera. But most of them did peel off very easily. So that's just the one thing that I didn't enjoy about it. But make sure that you watch these following clips, or maybe not. Just enjoy these following clips of me peeling all the paints, and we're going to swatch the colors next. My favorite part about opening the Miya HIMI gouache set was definitely peeling off the tops of the jelly cups. They were just so cute and they reminded me of food, like those little sauce cups that you get. And most of them were easy to peel, like I said before. And this was the paint cup that did not come off. As you can see, I got so much paint on my fingers trying to get it out, and I just wanted to fast forward it because it was just not budging at all. So this is the color that I could not tell whether it was the black or the dark blue, but lucky for me, I got it correct since I could see the blue streak marks on the lid. And this one peeled off so nicely, I was in awe, so that was really good too. And what I'm doing is that I am not taking off the lids of the jelly cubes or cups, and I'm not throwing them away because I'm going to be using the paint on the lids and I'm going to be using that to swatch. I don't want to waste any paint from it, so I'm just using the lid, which has a lot of paint on it. I also really liked the color and the close-up in this clip. And here is the initial template of my swatching process. I put all of the color names and as well as 3 boxes to test out their blending compatibility with each other. So first I'm laying down a color or like a little layer of water so they glide more easily, and this is a habit that I've been doing, and honestly it didn't really change much, but it did help glide it a little faster and easier on the watercolor paper. And this paper is the Canson brand, and it's also going to be in the description box below if you want to check that out as well. This is my first time kind of getting a gouache set, so I didn't really know how to blend the colors, but honestly they did a okay job of blending. I wasn't like surprised of how good they were, but I will probably see their blending capability when I'm actually doing an art piece. So here is the finished swatch paper, and let's get started on our actual art piece. Usually when I do a portrait, usually a face portrait with my Prismacolor pencils and my Ohuhu marker set, I usually sketch the face out, but for this one I did little to no sketching. I only drew the little sun or moon and the horizon, and it was definitely easier for a change since I didn't have to worry about getting the sketch right, since this art piece, this gouache portrait, was just mainly about the blending of the colors and focusing on the landscape. And unfortunately for me, I had a really rocky start of this art piece. My mistake was using too much black first and not using the light colors. I just went back and forth using black and muddy colors, and it just overall just dimmed the landscape. I put way too much black, and as you can see here, I just kept going. I did go off camera and do some additional painting because I didn't want the clips to be too long, but overall I used that time to just avoid using black and dark colors and start using brighter colors and their complements. This really helped me gain some color knowledge and how well colors mix and what their outcome will be like, and has been a really insightful experience. You can see that I constantly try to go over the darker areas with a lighter color because I didn't want it to look darker and muddier, but I'm happy with the base that I got here. The sunset made the colors near the horizon more yellow and orange, and then the farther you got more black and blues and purples. And I used some white to lighten up some of the sky and the like the bottom or the farthest point, and I also used some yellow and the tapping motion of the brush to add some highlights and some highlights near the beginning. I also use my finger because honestly it's a good blending tool, so I can soften out the white highlights. I start worrying about the reflection of the water, and at this point I have taken way too much time trying to get the base to what I would be proud of, and I did, so I just decided to move on, go with the flow, and add the tinier details on top. And I'm really proud of how I got here, even though I didn't share the whole experience with you guys. But I want to tell you that this piece really was not good from the start, since I made my colors way too muddy and dark, and I learned that you have to use lighter colors first and then build up your values. You don't want to jump in with the darker colors, especially black, because it's a very dangerous color. I like to say it's a good color, but it can be hard to remove the black since it is a dark color. So I just put streaks of white, yellow, and red in various areas near the beginning of the horizon, and then I move on to drawing the lily pads. I used a really watered down consistency of the lily pads, and I just wanted to put a really rough placement of where they should be, but of course the really watered down version just seeped through the black and the really dark portion over here, so I had to mix in white and make sure that it was the gouache. Since these gouache paints don't always have to be used as gouache, they can be watered down and they can be used as watercolor, which I really liked the flexibility of this gouache set. So I would use watercolors and then add more gouache consistency to make them pop out more and not blend into the layers before. I use various lime greens and bluish greens and light blues to add the illusion that some lily pads were below the water surface and some were above the water surface. The ones below the water surface would be more transparent, translucent, and not as opaque as the ones above the water, and I'm really happy and I'm really glad of how I achieved this illusion by using the consistencies of the gouache paint. And as you can see on my mixing tray to my left, I'm not the best organized painter or paint mixer. If I just find an open place on my mixing tray, I just plop my colors down there. And another important feature about this gouache paint is that it can be reactivated with water, unlike some acrylic paints. I can just leave the colors on this mixing tray and let them dry, and I could just pour a little bit of water, mix it, and they would be reactivated and good to go. Once I'm done putting all my lily pads, I go in with a really bluish white, mainly white, but I just put the dots to seem like little white flowers. And here I am just adding my finishing touches, and to sum it up, I really loved working with this gouache paint, and I'm happy that I chose this specific art piece to be my first piece to work with this gouache paint. If I chose a portrait, it would have been a lot harder since I didn't even know the basics of blending and the order of putting your paints. I learned that you should not use dark colors immediately, but you know, some artists can be amazing at that. I'm also taking my Sharpie white oil-based pen, and I'm also adding the brighter highlights that I could not achieve with paint, and I just wanted to use the pen since I haven't been using it at all. And here is my tape peeling process, so enjoy that satisfying peel. Reminder that I do have my Instagram account in which I post a lot more art content there, so if you would like to check out more of my work, be sure to check the link out in the description box. I would be eternally grateful for your support, and I would also like to chat with you guys in a artist to artist talk or just a casual talk, you know? If you have any questions about this gouache set, make sure you comment them down below, or some other questions about art or any suggestions for future videos. I hoped you found this video to be insightful of my experience with this gouache paint, and I cannot wait to use this medium and implement it in my art pieces. I really loved its vibrancy and how bright it looks on the paper, and I would rate my experience probably a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. It was a great learning experience, I can say that for sure. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to be watching my YouTube videos. If you would want to watch any more, be sure to check out my channel, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!